Hey, have you ever thought about how to start a business? Maybe you want to get some advice? Well, I'm going to do that today. I'm going to break it down for you. So let me do this. Now, think about this. Did you know that most businesses fail before they start because they skip the fundamentals? If you ever coached a sport, you ever been a part of sport, anybody gets off track, you go right back to the fundamentals, you retrain, and then you recalibrate, and then you move forward. So the first thing you need to do, number one, choose the business idea, okay? The idea is important because that idea is going to either break you or make you, right? And the best thing you could do is, if you want to start a business that makes a lot of money, you want to look for a problem that a lot of people have. The more the problem, and you can come up with a solution, the more money you can make, because more people need an answer to that problem. If only a small niche group of people have a problem, then you can solve that problem for that small niche. And potentially, if you're servicing a niche that nobody else is servicing, you can then make great money. But if there's already other people in that niche area, sometimes that can be a detriment, and it's very hard to grow your business because so many people are doing it, and you only have a small, tiny pool of people to pull from in order to sell your product and or service, right? So you want to solve a problem. A big problem. Now, here's the golden ticket. If you can find a problem that is big, that everybody has, and nobody can figure out the solution, and you can, you're on your way to billions, right? Number two, research the market. That's going to be important, okay? You got to research the market. If you're going to know where to go in the pathway, you got to know a few things. Let's just run off a couple of things off the top of my head. You're going to be able to get my full 2-hour training on this, because when you get an entity, you're actually going to get the 2-hour training and the workbook. But one of the things that you want to think about when researching is, well, how many competitors do I have? That doesn't mean it stops you. It just gives you a clear vision of what you're looking at and what you're, in a sense, competing against, right? What are your profit margins? What's the ROI? How many do you have to do in order to make an income? Do you want to set it daily, weekly, monthly, bi-weekly? How do you want to do that? How do you want to figure out what you need to make? And then look at your business. Where do you want to go? These are questions you have to answer in your own mind, in some of them. Some of you can do research online. You can go ask other people, other companies, and those kinds of things, right? But where do you want to be? So you can architect that business, right? These are just a few of the things I'm going to cover in that training manual. Number three, choose a business structure, right? Okay, so structure. Choose a business structure, okay? So what does that look like? It could be an LLC, it could be an S Corp, it could be a C Corp, it could be a ROBS, maybe a trust. There's all different ways to grow and increase a thriving money-making entity that produces wealth for you. At the end of the day, you're probably like most people, and you want to produce great wealth, so you have something to not only have fun and enjoy life, but also to hopefully give away to help others and or family members, right? Now, we're talking specifically about LLCs. That's always a great place to get started. It's simpler. You can see my LLC video. It doesn't have so much paperwork that you have to do throughout the year. It's a little bit easier to run, and it doesn't have all kinds of heavy compliance issues that maybe other corporations or entities might have, like a ROBS, right? Number four, register the business with the state, okay? So for state, you got to register it, okay? Register it, okay? Now, once you register that business with the state, now they know you're there. If you do it at the county level, then that's just a sole proprietorship, and that name is good for that county. You could use it anywhere in the state, but if someone comes in and buys or gets an LLC in that name, now that name is protected in that state, and the sole proprietor can't use that name anymore, right? So you want to make sure that you're careful. The next thing is get an EIN. That's number 5. I'm going to pull these up because you guys can see those. I want to make sure you can see these. Get an EIN. That's the beautiful benefit of an LLC or a corporation, is that it becomes a separate entity. You're not running under your own social security number, because you don't want to be writing your social security number out there on all kinds of documents. In fact, interesting to note, number 1 crime worldwide is identity theft. So you got to safeguard that, right? Leave it at home. Don't carry it in your wallet or purse. You don't want to lose that, right? So here's the thing. You want to make sure that that is protected. And an EIN gives a layer of protection, because an EIN qualifies the entity. And if you do the entity in the right state, you can even protect your identity from getting known to other people. Places like Wyoming, like that, right? Okay, now let's go on to number 6. Number 6 is open that business bank, okay? Biz bank, right? Now, The key to getting a good amount of money, and what I'm talking about is a good like $50,000 to start your business in a credit card with 0% interest, is when you go to the bank, you're going to go in there with all your paperwork, you're going to look all legal, you're going to look all professional, and then from there, guess what? You sit down with the banker who's going to open up the checking account, and they're going to ask you a question. They're going to go, okay, sir, ma'am, how much do you think you're going to make this year? And you want to say, well, you don't know that really, right? You could make 10 bucks. You could make millions. You legit don't know. So here's the magic number. You say something like, you know what? I really think we're going to do about $1.2 to $1.5 million this year. They're like, great. They put that in their database. And the likelihood of then you potentially getting a credit card with $50,000 on it, and you can start your business with 0% interest. It's also going to be dependent a little bit on your credit, but you can navigate that, is actually really high because the government is incentivizing you to start your business, right? So just think about that. We're going to go into a deeper dive on that later. Number 7, obtain license and insurance, okay? So we're going to put those two together, license and insurance, okay? All right, there you go. You can see those two right there. That's important because if something takes credentials, like you're going to file taxes and you're going to do that in every state, you're going to need an EA license, right? Well, that's a no-brainer. Or if you're going to be a contractor, most of those are within specific states. Some states don't even need to be a license for a general contractor, but you will need a business license, okay? So you want to get your licenses and your insurance to protect your business. If you're over someone's doing construction and you accidentally back up the car into the garage, well, your insurance protects that or takes care of that. I'm going to add a number 8, even though I said 7, and that is your business license, okay? We said business bank last time, but business license. So generally in every state, every city that you do work in, you have to do, so if you're in Houston, you have to get a business license for Houston. You drive up to San Antonio, you got to get a business license for San Antonio. You're not legally able to actually do business in San Antonio if you don't have a business license in that city that gives you permission. So if you're working in 20 different cities, you may need to have 20 different licenses. Now keep in mind, every state is different. Some states will do by county and some states will do only by city, okay? So make sure you know that. So think about this. Starting a business, it can be simple, especially with us, with Corp Nation. We do those filings if you follow the correct order. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you on the next time.